What's going on, everybody? Heard the news that Deontay Wilder and Andy Ruiz will officially be ordered to fight next month at the WBC annual convention. It was the logical next step with both guys being with PBC. Andy Ruiz beating Luis Ortiz, Deontay Wilder beating Robert Helenius. So it made sense, and it's a good fight. Two of the top heavyweights who are not champions right now. Obviously, both were former champions, Deontay Wilder and Andy Ruiz. So I think it's a good one. I think both guys bring a lot to the table. Obviously, Andy Ruiz, we know he has the crazy hand speed. So it'll be interesting to see how Wilder adjusts to that and copes with that, deals with that. And then we got Deontay Wilder's height, reach, speed, and power. How does Andy Ruiz deal with that? Because he's not really the fastest of feet, and he's given up a lot of distance. So it should be a good one. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in this fight and what happens in this heavyweight division. I think that Wilder has looked more impressive just because he knocked out Helenius in the first round, and he did drop Fury twice in the last fight before that, and he almost knocked Fury out. Whereas Ruiz, since the Joshua win, has not really looked that impressive to me. Ruiz, he in the rematch for Joshua, he came in at 287 pounds. That was just unacceptable to me. And he didn't really look very good in that fight. He lost pretty much every single round. And it wasn't like Joshua was doing any great movement or anything. He was just doing basic boxing, jab, move, jab, move. And Joshua has underrated footwork, but to me it was not as much about, wow, that was an amazing virtuoso performance by Joshua, as it was Ruiz didn't show up. And I'm not trying to take away credit from Joshua for that win. I'm just saying that's how I looked at it. Then Ruiz fought Chris Arreola. This is when Ruiz was with Eddie Reynoso, and he lost all that weight. And I said this from the jump. Eddie Reynoso does not know what he's doing with heavyweight boxing. Heavyweight boxing is different than the other divisions. It's not like with Canelo and Ryan Garcia and, Oscar Valdez. It's not the same. It's different, heavyweight boxing. And when they made Andy Ruiz lose all that weight, it wasn't going to work out. And he gets dropped by Arreola. He comes back and wins the fight, clearly, but not a very impressive performance. And then he fights Luis Ortiz. And he drops Ortiz 3 times, but this is an old Ortiz now, a very old Ortiz. He was always old, even when he fought Wilder, but a very old Ortiz. And his punch resistance wasn't that great. He even got dropped by Charles Martin. And Charles Martin's not a great fighter by any means, although powerful, but not a great fighter. And Ruiz drops him 3 times, but did not finish him. So he looked good, and it was an entertaining fight, but he didn't look great. So Ruiz hasn't really been that impressive to me, and it kind of makes me think that he's more of a one-hit wonder. I think he's a good heavyweight who had a great night and was in the right place at the right time. I look at Ruiz and Joshua as a B-level heavyweight beating an A-level heavyweight. And that happens in boxing. B-level fighters beat A-level fighters. That happens in boxing, and Ruiz took full advantage of the opportunity that he got. What people forget is Ruiz wasn't even supposed to have that fight. Ruiz was supposed to fight, Joshua was supposed to fight Jarrell Miller. Jarrell Miller gets popped for a drug test, failing the drug test. So then Ruiz fills in. Joshua knocks Ruiz down. Ruiz is hurt. Everyone, including me, is thinking all right, Joshua finished the fight. He's going to finish it. And Chris Mannix famously says Joshua is a composed and ferocious finisher. And then Joshua lands a big right hand on Ruiz. Ruiz goes back, and Ruiz took it. To his credit, he's got a hell of a chin, and I think that will help him in this fight versus Wilder, obviously. But he comes back, lands the left hook on the temple. Joshua's wobbling. He's in a daze, and Ruiz's hand speed was the difference in that fight. His chin and his hand speed, and knocked him down there in the 3rd round, which was crazy, and then knocked him down about 2 minutes later at the end of the round. And then he knocked him down again in round 7 and finished him, in round 7, the second knockdown of the round. So 4 total knockdowns. But to me, I would give Wilder the edge. I think Wilder matches up better with him, and I think this is a very good fight that PBC is making. And I think from a non-championship fight standpoint, the only fight I'd rather see Deontay Wilder in is the one versus Joshua. And let's be real, that's not happening, in the near future. And, it might happen eventually, but it's not going to happen next. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think. Deontay Wilder, Andy Ruiz, coming up next. Peace.